Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani, Gene Collier here tonight as we get you set for 30 minutes of conversation back and forth. All you have to do to join it is call us at 412-575-2600, or you can tweet at KDPomp at Gene Collier. And we're going to begin with some good news for the Steelers today after that win yesterday, 17-12. James Conner pretty much said he's ready to go. Mike Tomlin said if this was a full practice day that he would have been practicing fully. So that's good news. They need something to help their run game, which was anemic again yesterday. This defense has carried them. It's become a defense-first team again, which is kind of interesting to see. Gene Collier, outstanding columnist with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, gene therapy these days. What they need now is some gene therapy to help them with their run game.
Well, anything I could do, Bob. You know, they averaged 1.6 yards per carry on Sunday, which is about what you would do if you came to the line of scrimmage and just fell forward.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, 27 carries, 42 yards. That's not a run game at all. The Steelers have not really committed to the run game, even when James Conner's been in the lineup. So they've got to figure something out that way. In the meantime, they seem completely comfortable throwing the ball, even with the backup quarterback, even if they want to if they have to drop him into his own end zone with all his inexperience and everything else. They just don't seem to be afraid of that kind of stuff, and I guess to say otherwise would be living in your fears. I'm living in my fears.
I think we all are starting to do that, live in our fears. Gene, let's talk about that win. That was a tremendous effort by their defense once again. They've been carrying them. I look at the numbers, and it's startling to see that they're on pace for like 46 turnovers for the year forced on defense, already with 26. 4 more yesterday, 4 more sacks. They're making it tough on every quarterback, and Jared Goff came in as one of the best quarterbacks in terms of salary in the NFL, and he looked terrible, but the Steelers made him look terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing everything right on defense. They're getting tremendous pressure and tremendous coverage, and they're making the right calls, and they're in the right spots at the right place, particularly at the right time, particularly Minkah Fitzpatrick is just a phenomenon. As Jerry Dulac pointed out today, that figure, 46 turnovers, or however many turnovers they have, it projects to 46. So I think would be, I think he said that would be the most since 1978, which, as you remember, was a pretty good defense.
That's a pretty good defense. If you can match that, but this is the best defense we've seen around here in quite some time. And quite frankly, I think the difference is better personnel. When you look at it, Minkah Fitzpatrick was acquired. That's a big upgrade in their secondary, and he's been able to kind of neutralize the middle of the field. Quarterbacks don't even want to go there anymore because they know he's lurking back there, and he reads quarterbacks very well. And then you have Bush, who was brought in as a rookie, first-round pick. They traded up to 10th to get him. That's an upgrade over what they had last year when they tried to mix and match guys like John Bostic in there. Right. And then you have other guys, too. Steven Nelson was signed as a free agent. And Bud Dupree also just developed. They've been patient, Gene, with him. They did some gene therapy there and just decided they're going to wait because he has too much talent. And finally, it's starting to really show itself.
Yeah, really, between Bud Dupree and T.J. Watt, they have 2 of the best outside linebackers in football again, and it's mostly due to their patience. I mean, Watt never really tried their patience, but Bud certainly did, and, it's paid off.
It has. We'll talk more about that. Let us know what you think about the Steelers or where they are right now, which is in the second wild card all of a sudden, winners of 4 in a row. They have a big game with Cleveland coming up on Thursday. How do you see that breaking down with Cleveland, then Cincinnati, then Cleveland again? One other note, we'll talk about Sidney Crosby, who is out for tomorrow's game in Madison Square Garden. He will not play. He has some sort of foot injury, it looks like. They call it lower body. Mike Sullivan was kind of vague about this today and was asked, could it be long-term? He said, what's long-term? Well, long-term is long-term, and he didn't deny it, but at this point they haven't said much more other than he's still being evaluated. What do you think is going on with that?
Yeah, all he would confirm really was that a foot is on the lower body, which is not really helpful to us. I mean, Sidney Crosby is one of these, this is one of those situations where, frankly, I just don't worry about it. He's got to be able to go like April 13th. This is November. It actually does players good, I think, to take a break here.
Yeah, they call it in the NBA these days load management. And now load management is getting a little out of hand because guys are not playing a lot and people pay a lot of money to see him. We'll talk about that. I want to get Gene. He doesn't talk much about the NBA, but load management is going to get his attention tonight.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that and more. Get on the phone right now. It's 412-575-2600. That's the number to call. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here live on Pittsburgh's CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.